my name is Samantha and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about the 5 reasons you should set up for the yard sale even if you make no money. Let's get into it. Okay, so I did my community yard sale this last weekend and I would say overall it was a success. And I have 5 reasons for you of why you should still set up even if you make no money. The first reason is that you're being an active member of your community and society, and you didn't spend your Saturday sitting on the couch. You're better than half of America that you just got up and you did something productive with your day. Also, setting up for your craft or setting up for the yard sale, point 2, is that it gives you practice. For me, I got to practice putting up my tent by myself. This 2 weekends ago, I did the Diagon Alley show, and I used my tent for the first time in like a year, and I had help, but I couldn't remember how to do it. And so this time I did it all by myself, and I was very proud of myself and very impressed that I was able to do it myself. Also, I put the sides up, and then I put all my booth together, so it was very like I got to see another setup. I got to practice doing it myself. So I really appreciated that. Plus, I got photos. So practice and photos. If you don't have a social media, definitely make a social media account for your crafting, right? And every time you set up, post a picture of it. I don't care if you set up in your bedroom, in your basement, in your living room, in your front lawn, at the yard sale, doesn't matter. Set up and post a picture. Just post, 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 post. Because then when you do sign up for a medium show and they ask you for your social media, boom, you look good. When you sign up for an even bigger show and they ask you for previous booth photos, boom, you've got it. Boom, you've got your social media that's already set up. So in the simplest regard, make an Instagram, make a Facebook, have them connect. I don't do Facebook, but I have my Instagram connected to my Facebook, so I don't think about it. I don't ever log into Facebook. I don't care. I don't touch Facebook, but when I post on Instagram, it also posts to Facebook, so it's hitting both audiences. Point 3, it lets you figure out what you're missing. Maybe you're missing something in your inventory. Maybe you're missing a display. Maybe you don't know how to do your transaction. Like you don't have your Square reader figured out. Maybe you don't have enough cash. It helps you figure out where are your holes. For me, I realized that I don't have enough of my printouts that tell me all of my upcoming shows to hand out to customers. So now I know before my next show, I need to make more of those. I have a whole video on how I make my own business cards and how I make all my own signage, so I'll have that link down below. But it's great for figuring out what are you missing. Number 4, you get to practice your sales pitch and your interactions. Even if you don't successfully land a single sale, it helps you talk about your product, it helps you get your product in front of people, it helps you practice your sales pitch, and it helps you have more interaction. I can't tell you the amount of booths that I've passed by and someone's sitting there with their RBF and they're like, you can't do that. Like, you need to, hi, like, if you have RBF, you need to work even harder to smile at people because people do not want to approach you if you do that. So it helps you practice fake smiling in your customer service voice and saying your sales pitch. So that's number 4. Number 5, it can help you increase your confidence and thicken your skin. For example, myself, on Friday and on Saturday. On Friday, 24 cars drove by, and on Sunday, 25 cars drove by. Every single one of those cars either like slowed down and then like looked at my sign and then just drove away, or they looked at me and gave me like a couple people got out of the car on Friday before I got my sign out, which is a mistake I did not make on Saturday. But on Friday, I didn't have my sign all the way out on the street. They're like, what do you have? And I was like, oh, I'm selling all my handmade goods. I have my jar openers and my soap, or I didn't put soap towel pouches, jar openers, reusable towels. And they're like, oh, well, that's not what I'm looking for. And I was like, okay, have a great day. So it helps you thicken your skin, when you have those nasty interactions for no reason. And also with the positive interactions, it helps boost your confidence that you're able to do the show, for real. You're also more confident in setting up your booth and like the products that you have in your sales pitch. So number 5 is that it boosts your confidence. So let me talk to you about the situations that happened to me on the 2 yard sale days. So on Friday, it was a nice sunny day. I was able to put my tent out. I was so proud of myself. Like I said, it was my first time putting it together by myself. I got my tent up. I got the sides up, which I just got those sides for the Diagon Alley show. 8 minutes to get the tent up and the sides on. I was so proud of myself. And I also learned like, oh, I should do it this way, because I'm vertically challenged. I'm only 5'1", so I learned how to better put the sides on. And now, even being there, I learned more about how to put signs on. So the next time I do a show, I'm even more confident about how I'm going to put them on and where to attach them in the right spot, because I don't think I attached them in the right spot. Plus, I was able to figure out that one of the attachments, so it's like Velcro, is coming off. So I need to Velcro, or I need to stitch that on. So I will be bringing all three of the sides, because I have 3 sides, and I will be reinforcing every single set of stitches. Something I didn't know I needed to do. I also had to learn how to be creative to get my sign to stand up, because it was like hanging out. The wind was like taking it down, and I'm looking around my garage like, what can I use to weigh this down? Obviously my tent has the tent weights, but I didn't know what to use. And I see the shovel, so I end up putting the shovel over my sign, and I also had my like metal hammer in there so that my sign would like stop falling over, and then it stopped falling over. And some of the neighbors were like, that's so funny, I love how you use the shovel. And I'm like, you gotta get creative sometimes. So now I know that if I do an outside show like that, I need another set of weights besides my tent weights. And also my tent weights don't really work on the sign anyways because of the way that they're structured. So I need to figure out a way to have weight on my sign if I do a show like that. So another, nugget of information. I was able to set up my booth. It was a nice sunny day, so I was able to set up my booth inside the tent, and then I sat in the garage. Thankfully, I work from home, so I was able to not take PTO, and I just worked from my garage. Like I said, 24 people, or 3 people got out of the car before 7 o'clock, before I even started work. But so 21 people drove by without even saying anything to me, so I didn't even have to have those interactions. And then I had 2 sales from 2 walk-ups of my neighbors. So, when I'm working, I walk away to go to the bathroom anyways, so what difference does it make that I went and talked to my neighbors for 10 minutes? So I was able to still get all of my work done, and just work from the garage, and then interact with the 2 people that came up to my booth. So I had $78 in sales. I had 2 sales. The average sale was $42, $65 in cash, $16 on card, and that is 54 cents in credit card fees. I sold 2 reusable towels, $32, $6 to tissue pouches, 1 tissue pouch, and then 6 jar openers, which was $36, and then 1 wine bag, so that's $10. And then one lady did get out of the car and she didn't buy anything, but we had a conversation, and it was this older lady, and she was talking to me about sewing and my booth, and it was so sweet, and it was so nice to have such a positive conversation. Like, I would much rather have that positive conversation than like the like, no, just keep driving. Don't even get out of the car if you don't want what I have, so we're not even gonna do that. So that was a great conversation that I had with that woman. Saturday, I didn't have work on Saturday, so that was great. But it was raining. And when I packed up on Friday, I literally just picked up my tables and put them in the garage, and I just picked them up, and I kind of like pulled the tent down a little and then shoved it in the garage. So that Saturday, I just like pulled the tent out and put it up, so it wasn't like put away. And it was way faster to set up on Saturday. But it was raining, so I ended up putting the tent in the driveway. My house is a little further down from the main road, so having the tent, people could see it, but I didn't want my product in the driveway, because knowing how like few people came up to me, I just didn't want my product getting dirty. So I ended up having my tables inside of the garage. Also, that meant that I could shut the garage if I needed to and go inside. So I just had the tent on the driveway, but nothing was in the tent. And then I had my sign extended past my driveway so that you could see my sign. If you had good eyesight, you could see it from the main road. But then also as people drive up, they can read the sign. So we don't have to have any negative interactions. You can make some faces at me, but we're not going to speak. And like I said, 25 people came and left. This one couple, they did get out of the car and they came to talk to me, and they did not buy anything. Similar conversation to that of the lady before. They were able to tell me quite a few good shows to do in this area, which I'm really grateful for. It's really hard to find shows to do in a new area. So they were able to tell me a couple shows, and they do car shows. They have like a like special car that they work on, right? And they do car shows. And they're like, there's vendors there all the time. They're like, last weekend, there was this vendor selling dog treats and she sold out. And I was like, really? Like a car show? Like people would want my kind of stuff? And they're like, yeah, your stuff would sell really well. I'm like, that's so interesting. I never thought to look up a car show. And, I could easily add car fabrics to my, inventory, and those would sell at any event. So I was like, oh, that's really interesting. I didn't think about that. So now I have a couple events written down, and they also sent me an email, which was really sweet because I gave them my information. So now I need to like reach out to some of these car show organizers. And the worst that's going to happen is the organizer is going to tell me, no, we don't want you. But maybe that's like another avenue that I've not tried that could work well. So that was really cool. That was a really interesting conversation. And then on Saturday, I had 2 sales from walk-ups. So the 4 sales that I got all weekend were 4 people. 3 of them live on my street and I've met them before and they're my neighbors. And then the other person is a person that walked in my neighborhood, and again, I'm friends with her, and she came intentionally. She's been waiting to buy the stuff. So like, she's like, I want this, because she's been waiting for weeks for this yard sale so she could get it. Because I'm like, just tell me what you want and I can bring it to your house. And she's like, no, I'm gonna wait till you're set up. I want to see your setup. So it was so sweet. And that she was on Friday. And then on Saturday, I had $80 in sales, 2 sales, the average sale $42. All was on card. I paid $2.39 in fees. I sold 3 reusable towels, which is $48, 4 tissue pouches, which is $24, and then 2 jar openers, which is $12. And on Saturday, because it was raining, I couldn't put the tent away, right? So, excuse me, I actually packed up really lazy on Saturday. I just took all my displays and took them in the living room and sat them on the floor because I was just so done and I was hungry and I wanted lunch because it was from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. both days. And I just took all of my displays and put them in the living room on the floor. And then I just like pulled the tables inside in the garage and I pulled the tent down and just shoved it in the garage because I couldn't put it away because then it would get moldy, right? And I threw the tablecloths in the washer. And on Sunday, I had taken a nap and then I was getting ready, or I had put the tent outside so that it could dry because Sunday it didn't rain, right? And so I put the tent up because it wasn't dry sitting in the garage and it needed to like extend, and my garage isn't tall enough to extend it all the way. And so I put it in the driveway. So the tent's just sitting in the driveway. And I go and I take a nap and I come back out because I need to put it away and then go to my part-time job on Sunday. And one of the neighbors came out and she was like, oh, are you setting up? And I was like, no, I'm sorry. I'm just putting the tent away. I didn't want it to get moldy, so I was letting it dry. And she was like, oh, I wanted to get another tissue pouch. So then she gave me cash and I like went home and I like looked at the tissue pouches and sent her a picture. And she's like, I want that one. And then I dropped the tissue pouch off at her house yesterday. Today's Tuesday, so Monday. And so it was so sweet. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I actually have to add an extra tissue pouch to the sales of this weekend because technically that was like a yard sale. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not setting up. Like, and she was like, oh, it's okay. But it was so cute. It was so sweet. But I was able to put the tent away. It was able to dry, get it all taken care of, and I put all my product away. But it was such an interesting event, right? And I didn't do amazing. My sales weren't fantastic, but I already told you five reasons. 1, I got off the couch. I did something productive. 2, I got practice. I got photos. 3, I figured out what I was missing. 4, I got to practice my sales pitch. 5, I increased my confidence and thickened my skin. And all of that, it cost me $0 to sit in my driveway. I didn't take PTO. I was able to work very successfully. My Wi-Fi works great from the garage, which is good to know. I didn't know that. And so I was able to work successfully. And then on Saturday, I was able to be productive. I was still getting the laundry done, getting the dishes done. If I was out at a show, there's no way I could get those things done. And I've paid for shows and gone to shows and done worse than I did at this yard sale. So even if I made $0, this was worth it. But the total sales was 5 reusable towels, $80, 5 tissue pouches, $30, 8 jar openers, $48, and 1 wine bag, which was $10. And then, so that is $158. But if we add on that extra tissue pouch the next day, $164. So $164, and it cost me my effort. And I got so much practice and so much experience. I got interaction with my neighbors. So, what is there to complain about? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Would you sign up for your community yard sale? We should have another one in the spring, so I will let you know how that one goes as well. But I definitely think it was well worth my time to sign up for the yard sale, and I think that you should sign up for yours as well and just practice. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.